And you're not more lovable when you're less messy. Like, hmm.
I know,
You're
right?
not more valuable when you're more composed. So it's so important that we all emotionalize these truths,
Yes.
and redefine what it means to be strong to include softness, asking for help, and again, setting boundaries, which that in itself has helped me with this whole idea of having to be the strong one is setting boundaries. Good morning, guys. We are your hosts, Lori.
And Shenisse, certified spiritual life coaches, and we are so glad you're here. Welcome to our podcast, Branching In.
Yes, and we'd love it if you just take a moment and like and subscribe. It would mean so much to us to just have your support as we continue to spread more and more self-awareness. All right, so in this episode, Shanice, we are going to talk about something many people secretly struggle with, the hidden costs of being the strong one. You know, Shanice, the one that everyone leans on, the reliable one, the rock.
Yes,
So
yes, I do know.
I know you know. So, what does it mean to be the strong one? So, the strong one is seen as the caretaker, the dependable one, the one who holds everything together. It can relate to different areas of your life, from friend groups to your partnership. The strong one usually has a fixer personality and or a savior complex. While it is often attributed to the eldest child, it can happen from any order.
Yes, and societies, families, and communities often praise this role. So you're the one who gets things done, right? The one who doesn't crumble. But over time, that role becomes a trap. It shifts how you value yourself. It's not just what you do, it's who you believe you have to be. And this calcifies into perfectionism, especially socially prescribed perfectionism, where you believe others expect you to be perfect and will reject you if you fall short. And the irony is that the traits others admire, such as your strength and reliability, are often fueled by a fear of disappointing, of being exposed and not being needed. And because you look fine, no one checks in, not even you. And so the cost becomes too heavy to carry. And I have to say, Lori, this is a particularly vulnerable episode for me because I was the strong one growing up, being the oldest of eight, my mom being a single mom for most of the time that she was raising us. Um, I I was the strong one. So this hits really close to home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and same, Shanice, and how we kind of talked about this can be in many different areas of your life. I know in every partnership that I've been in, I have always had to be the strong one. Being a single mom, I've had to be the strong one. So it can come in different areas, whether it's with siblings, in your family, relationships with your children, whatever it is. I'm sure at some place we've all experienced to some point, some point or another, being the strong one and having to have this hold this energy of being the strong one. And I know I've had that big fear of disappointing others because I've had to stay strong. I'm a single mom. I have to stay strong for my children at all
Yeah.
times, at all costs. And yes, it's very true. Everybody does look at you like you're fine and
Yeah.
no one checks in. And even you, that's so spot on. So agree, Shanice. Feel the
Yes.
same.
Yes. And that's so funny, the not even you. That's very true. I got so used to being the strong one, being the one that everyone relied on, talked to, came to with their problems, that I just solidified that role within myself. And then I didn't even bother to check in with myself to make sure I was okay because I just took it for granted. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine. This is just the way things are, right? This is just how it is. And the cost did become great. It was too heavy. And I've moved through that, over the years in my self-work. But yes, no, it does take a toll.
And you didn't
And
check in, Shanice, because everybody else believes you're fine. So you must be fine.
yes, yeah,
So let's get into, Shanice, some of the hidden downfalls and egoic gains, meaning serving the ego, both sides of serving the ego. We're just going to let's go over these hidden costs of being the strong one, as well as what the hidden egoic gains are.
Yes, because so many people, and I know so many people don't realize, and I know I didn't realize this, is wherever there's a downfall, like where there's like a hidden cost, there's also something you're getting from it. Like the reason that you're in that cycle, right? So for me personally, I was the strong one. So I was seen as almost like infallible. And while there was a cost in that, secretly, I didn't realize, but secretly there was a gain. There was something I was getting out of it. And so it's so important to understand how both of those work so you can really become aware and really start to like let go of those cycles. So, yes, let's get into
Yeah,
it.
it's hidden, meaning it's unconscious. And you're just, like you said, you're not aware of that cost that, on both ends, in the downfall as well, like both sides of it, it's so interesting to look at both sides. That's why we broke this down. And the toll it takes is not in your awareness.
Mhm.
So again, that's why we call this, it's hidden.
Yeah.
So all right, so let's go over. These are some examples that Shanice and I are going to go over, and they are completely interchangeable.
Yes.
They are both serving the ego, as we stress. The egoic gain is holding you in that spot. It's seen from a positive perspective, like a pat on the back, way to be. We then think it's worth paying the cost. That's the truth.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, one egoic or one downfall is it's taking pieces of you slowly. It's a slow death. So, the need to be seen as infallible, to be seen as the strong one, that slowly took pieces.
That's the cost. Yeah, that's the cost you're paying. That's the downfall. And so, Shanice, what's interesting about that, you're paying this slow death, and you're giving pieces of yourself, but the hidden egoic unconscious gain is being seen as strong is a compliment.
Yes. And there was a part of me that was just like, oh, yes, like I took pride in being reliable and being someone that people could rely on. There was a sense of pride in that. But the hidden cost was I was losing pieces of myself. So that's one example. Another one, downfall, the hidden cost is you repress your feelings, ignoring them in favor of others' feelings, which leads to loneliness and burnout,
Yeah.
right? And so, what's the hidden egoic gain there?
Yeah.
There's no need to be vulnerable. You can keep an arm's length away. And it's so subtle. I love these examples because they're so subtle. But yes, that is the hidden egoic gain. Is I don't have to be vulnerable. I get to repress my feelings and keep everyone an arm's length away. But what's another one, Lori?
Yeah. So another one, Shanice, um, as a downfall and a cost that you pay for being the strong one is people really assume you don't need any support. So they don't offer any help,
Mm,
because they're like, she's got it. She's strong. She's good. And the egoic gain there would be this sense of superiority. I can handle more than others. I am
yeah.
so strong. So again, see the see the balance. It's so subtle, like you said.
Yes.
This is such great awareness to
Yeah.
see what part of you it is serving,
Yes. What you're unconsciously getting from it, even while it is,
even while you're complaining.
yeah, even while it's harming you,
Yeah,
there's still something you're getting from it. If not, and that's what most people don't realize is if you're not getting anything from it, it's so easy to just walk away and be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore. But the
yeah.
reason we stay stuck in these spots is because we are unconsciously gaining something from it. So another example of a hidden cost is I didn't feel like I had a choice. No one else was taking on the role. So I felt like I had to be the strong one. And the hidden egoic gain there is that I got to be in control.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I took on that role, right? I'm the strong one, but now I get to be in control. Yeah.
Yeah. And another one, Shanice, is you're always holding space for others. but never holding it for yourself. So
Yep.
there's a cost to pay for being the strong one. You always thinking outside of yourself. You're always taking care of your holding this space for others, but you never hold it for yourself. But what's keeping you there? What is keeping you there? What is that gain that you're hiddenly staying in that spot? It feels good to be needed, to be relied on and admired. Because if I'm needed, I won't be abandoned.
Right? Oh my god. Ooh, I felt that when you said that,
Yeah,
Lori.
right?
That was oh, yes, I resonate that with that so much. If I'm needed, I won't be abandoned. That was it. That
Yeah,
was it. That was definitely it. Another one is, feeling so the hidden cost, the downfall is feeling guilt and shame when you want to say no to something. And oh, that was so true for me. Anytime, well, that was why I'd never said no because there was just so much guilt and shame at just the thought of saying no that I never said no. And the hidden gain was that I got to demonstrate my competence by always having the answers, right? So I can never say no, always said yes. And it kind of goes with the last one we just said too. If I can never say no and anyone asks me for something and I'm like, oh, I'm there. I got you. Again, it's kind of like, well, they need me. I'm being admired. I'm always competent because I always have the answers. And that's
exactly.
that hidden egoic thing that kept me there. Yeah.
Another one is losing sight of yourself. That is a downfall of a very big price you pay by being this strong one.
Mhm.
But again, why you're staying in that energy, what's keeping you there is because your focus is on others. You don't have to work on yourself. So it literally, you don't look at you. You just look at everything outside of you.
Yeah.
A really strong energy to keep you here, right? Because I
Yes.
refuse to look at myself. So I will lose pieces of myself and I will lose sight of myself in the process.
Yes.
I don't want to look at myself.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then another hidden cost is you always have to be okay, constantly on your A game. Always viewed as the one who just always has it together, right? And so then the hidden egoic gain of that is looking outside of me for validation. It's like, oh, well, I'm constantly on my A game, being admired for that, being admired for always having it all together. And having that outside validation to make myself feel good. That is what kept me there, kept me in that downfall.
Yeah. Yeah. And maintaining that image, which is similar, always having to be okay and constantly on your aim game. Also maintaining this image, which is so not authentic. It takes you out of being your authentic self, which is a big cost to pay for this you're really not authentic. And the egoic gain is, again, you're put on a pedestal of sorts.
Yes, that's so true. It's like, oh, well, she has it all together. Like
Yeah,
she
look at
always has
her.
it all together. Yeah, look at her being put on that pedestal, which
She's
is
amazing. I wanna be like her. I wanna be just like her. Who
yeah,
loves to hear that about themselves? Oh my gosh, you wanna be like me. Ooh, I'm gonna
she's so
keep this
strong.
going.
I want to be as strong as her.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then the last one is really all of the above. So like all of the downfalls that we just spoke of, when you're experiencing that, the hidden egoic gain is, "Oh, well, that's my purpose. It's my purpose. Like it's my purpose to be the strong one." And when I really believe that, then I'm slowly it's a slow death. I'm repressing my feelings. People assume I don't need support. I don't hold space for myself. Like I'm doing all of that. And the egoic gain, I'm believing that it's my purpose. And I did, my goodness. I was thrust into that role, but then I took it and made it mine and made it my own. So I was the strong one. I was the one that everyone could count on and rely on. And I really did believe that was my purpose. I mean, on top of being told it was my purpose, I would hear from my mom, like, oh, well, I don't know what I would do without you. I can't imagine this life without you here. God put you in my life because he knew I needed you. And so hearing all of those things, I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, I'm here for you, mom. I'm here for my brothers and sisters. Like, this is why I'm here. This is my purpose is to take care of everyone and keep everything together all the time." And yeah, it really was a slow death. And it made it so that I never really got to know who I was outside of the strong one role because I was never focused on me. I was always focused on what everyone else needed and whatever I needed to do to keep everything together. And yeah, so it's really only recently that I'm getting to know who I am outside of that role.
And also now that you're aware of the egoic gains, you can also focus on that as well and go, okay, it gives you something to look at. Well, why do I need to have this compliment? Or why do I need to be on a pedestal? Or, whatever it is that you're gaining from holding that energy. Where is that approval that I need to have this role from? Where is that coming from? Because that will also, again, that's the energy holding us all in this um this energy of this hidden cost, this downfall, spot is this egoic gain. So really taking a look at those egoic gains for me, that's very eye opening. And I can go at it that way because by letting go of that egoic gain, it automatically frees up that energy. It
Yeah.
automatically gives me permission to not have to be the strong one because I'm not looking for the compliment. I don't want to be on a pedestal. Different, it changes the whole energy. It's
Yes.
really looking at it in reverse and looking at those egoic gains and being honest with yourself. It's really, those hard truths sometimes are challenging, but that's why we kind of laid them out so you could kind of see them. And again, they're all interchangeable and it doesn't have to line up that exact way. But either way, there is something you're gaining and looking at that gain and going, why do I need that?
Yeah. And using that as a clue, like, what I love about this is we line them up to one another, so if you catch yourself in a downfall, that's a good way to clue you in, and if you catch yourself in an egoic gain, that's a great way to clue you in, like, you can use both to clue you in as to, "Oh, what am I doing?" Like, "What am I doing right now? What energy am I embodying right now?" Both are great clues, and I will say it was even creating this episode with you, Lori, I found my ego not liking the gain part of it because it's like when I felt into it, I'm like, "Oh, it can't be a victim. My ego can't play the victim when it's faced with the truth of what it's gaining from being in that energy of the downfall and the hidden cost." And I thought that was funny. I'm just like, "Okay, you really can't. You can't be in a victim place of unconsciousness and unawareness when you are creating awareness around what you are secretly gaining from it."
Yeah.
So it's
That
very
is
powerful.
that is you're hit it on the head, Shanice, exactly. It's the victim that we wanna embrace sometimes that with bringing this awareness in that it can't.
No. Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad when we created this all just came out.
Yes. And I already know this will be an episode I go back and re-listen to many times because I'm still, like, unlearning that role and, finding my authentic self and, who I am without the strong one role because I embodied that role for most of my life. So I definitely know that I'm going to re-listen to this episode time and time again throughout the years.
And Shanice, this takes us right into because you're talking about your past and what brought this in for you, and that's what we're going into next. What is the past history that led to the need to be strong? And
Yeah.
so for many of us, the role of the strong one didn't just appear out of nowhere. It had roots, and those roots go all the way back to childhood, which Shanice just went over. Your childhood of how those roots started taking place was a great example of what you know role you took on from your mom putting you in that spot and you embracing that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's different ways that we go into the role of the strong one. So, for example, one of them is growing up too soon. And I know that was definitely the case for me is I was a child mom. So I grew up in a home where there was chaos, conflict, and instability. And that was the norm. That was That was my norm. That was like my everyday life. And in that environment, I didn't get to be a kid. So I became the peacemaker, the fixer, and the one who made sure things didn't fall apart.
Yeah, that makes exactly sense. And another one is the invisible child.
And you
Maybe
were,
your feelings weren't acknowledged, or you got more praise when you were good and self sufficient. So you realize that showing sadness or fear didn't get you comfort, but staying strong and composed got you approval. This was very true for me.
mm,
Like very true. So you tucked away your needs and wore strength like an armor.
yeah.
That absolutely me from the household that I grew up in.
Yeah. Yeah, like, cause when you're the strong one, you don't feel like you can have needs. You're already being the one who's looked upon to fix everything. So I couldn't have needs. They had needs. I was the one fulfilling those needs. I couldn't afford to have my own needs.
Yeah.
There was no time for my needs.
Yeah, and in a lot of our situations, our parents' inner child was coming out, and
Mhm.
we were taking care of that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know that happened for me with my family, and I became the parent in certain situations for them. So again, having to be that strong role was a way for that to come out.
Yeah. Yes. And that kind of leads me into another way that we needed to be strong was the protector role. So like for me, I had younger siblings and a parent, both in my case, that I felt like I needed to protect, because I grew up in a very unsafe, abusive environment. And so I felt like I always had to protect my siblings and I had to protect my mom. So I was very much in that protector role for most of my life. That was like my childhood, my teenage years, and even my adulthood. I've always kind of had that protector role.
Yeah, and same so for me, Shanice, and this is again giving examples for people listening. My protector role was just being a single mom, and having to protect my kids because it was just me and they, lost their father when they were 4 and 6 years old. So I took on the mother and father role
Yeah.
for my children. So I had to be this protector for them.
Yeah.
So that's again how that role just slid in there for me.
Yeah. And another one is the hidden transaction. So, at the root of all these stories is usually one core belief: being strong is how stay safe and loved. Strength wasn't just a personality trait, it was survival. It was the way you earn security in a world that didn't feel secure. And I resonate with that so much. And that, I mean, I did not know this then, that that was like a core belief, but looking back, it absolutely was. I felt like the best way that I could be safe and that other people would love me was to be the strong one, to be what everyone else needed. And it definitely was what I used to be able to survive the environment I grew up in. Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about, Shanice, how do we find balance so we can serve more our spirit versus our ego? And it's really letting go of being the strong one. And it doesn't mean becoming weak. And I think that for me was like, then I'm not strong. What's the opposite of strong?
Yes, right?
So it actually means, though, what it really does mean, not the weak, it means becoming whole. Wow. That's a whole different way to look at it, right?
Yes, completely different.
Yes. So becoming whole, it starts with a shift in belief. Your worth isn't measured by how much you do, how well you cope, or how little you need.
Yep.
That's a lot to take in for both.
I feel that. Yes.
And that, yeah, that still, I work with that a lot. And you're not more lovable when you're less messy. Like, hmm.
I know,
You're
right?
not more valuable when you're more composed.
It's so funny because 'cause you're telling me all of these things, and my child self was like, "What?" Like, because that is not what I learned. Like, I learned the opposite. It was better. The less I needed, the more praised I was. The less messy I was, the more praised I was. The more
Absolutely.
composed I was, the more praised I was. I was literally, like, praised for all of these things that was me becoming less of myself, actually. So it's just so funny to hear it that way because my child self is like, "What?"
It's important to, like, like, really embrace this and emotionalize these truths for ourselves, because us both being moms and having children, to not put this out there for them.
Yeah.
So, it's so important that we all emotionalize these truths,
Yes.
you know, and redefine what it means to be strong, to include softness, asking for help, and again, setting boundaries,
Yeah.
which that in itself has helped me with this whole idea of having to be the strong one, is setting boundaries.
Yes. Yes. No. And like I just shared, I grew up not having, not that I didn't have needs, but I buried my needs. I didn't want to have needs. I had other people's needs that I needed to see to. So a way that I have found balance is really acknowledging my needs, acknowledging that I have needs, that it's okay for me to have needs, that it's perfectly normal to go about the world having needs and meeting those needs for myself.
Right.
That has really helped a lot.
Yeah. And what you just said, you have needs, but you don't need to go outside of yourself, meaning you don't need outside validation, which that is huge too. Because again, like we just went over all of those gains, which is basically outside, outside, outside of us. All of
Yeah,
those gains was
constant
everything was coming from the outside.
yes, exactly.
So that it just naturally falls away, right? That needing to be the strong one, because that all goes away with all that egoic gain. It's like, I don't need that.
Yeah, yeah, there's no need to go outside. There's no need for outside validation when we're validating ourselves and when there's no longer an emphasis on needing to be the strong one. Like you said, it just naturally falls away, which
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
And then also, like, communicating my feelings and being willing to be vulnerable. Actually, that is my biggest struggle. I still struggle with that. That's really, really hard for me because I spent my whole life meeting other people's needs and being the person that everyone came to communicate their feelings, that I never practiced that. I'm good doing that for myself, like communicating my needs to me, communicating my feelings and being vulnerable with myself, but doing that in front of someone else, that's still a huge struggle for me. I'm working on it.
No, same. I think there is this thing for me that it feels like I don't wanna be a burden.
Yes. Wow,
It
Lori.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
when you're talking, that's what comes up for me immediately. So yeah, I when you were talking, Shanice, that comes in very strongly about why, that's uncomfortable. It's because I don't want to feel like a burden.
Yeah. And like, because there were so many kids in the household, and it already, like, I could see the toll it took on my mom, especially as a single mom, and she's trying to juggle everything. And she's already overwhelmed, and I can see her overwhelmed, I can feel her overwhelmed. There was such an emphasis on me not adding to it.
Yep,
So
same.
I did everything I could to help her with that and not become one myself.
Yeah, me same, that was happening in my household too. My mom was dealing with, both my parents were working, and then my dad had some health issues, a lot in and out of the hospital, and there was 4 kids. So, I absolutely would not wanna add to add
Yes.
to it. So, I would do anything to take away from that.
Yeah.
So, to this day, it's just kind of naturally on autopilot of I'm not gonna burn anybody with anything.
Yes. I know. I'm the same, and I'm
Which
trying.
is a trap of trying to stay strong.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the balance because, like, I'm so used to that one way. I'm like, "Well, where's the balance in that?" When I share, how much do I share? And it's leaning into the discomfort because it's so comfortable for me to just deal with everything on my own, never ask for help, never put anything that I'm going through onto anyone else because I know what it feels like to be the one everyone comes to, and it can be overwhelming, and I never wanted to do that to anyone else, so I just always dealt with everything on my own. And so starting to move through that discomfort to begin to, like, lean on others, but
Yeah,
it's difficult. It is. It's
yeah. But
very
there's
difficult.
a balance. There's a
Yeah.
balance, and then you work through that, and the more you do it, and delegate things, or, just not have this strong need that everything has to go a certain way or be done a certain way or whatever too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of balance, I
Yeah.
think that you can get, and, It just takes experimenting with
Yeah,
that.
I was just about to say that. It's just experimenting with
Yeah.
different things and finding what works well for you. Yeah.
Mhm, exactly. And
Yeah.
again, we talked about back to just detaching from that egoic gain
Mhm.
that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so one thing that we wanted to do is we want to use an example from the hidden cost and the hidden gain to showcase how we can move into the energy that we want to embody. So we're going to use the cost, which the one we're using is when you lose sight of yourself, and the hidden gain is because your focus is on others, you don't have to work on yourself. And so you can use the hidden gain to figure out what you want to move toward. In this case, one thing you can do is move your focus toward yourself and practice self love. And we were talking about that earlier, how we can use clues from the downfall and the hidden gain
Mhm.
to really build that awareness. So, yeah. So, if you see that a hidden gain is that you're focusing all of your attention on everyone else, so that you don't have to bother putting any focus on yourself because that's more comfortable, then start to shift that focus towards yourself. And once the focus is on yourself, giving yourself everything that you need. And we just gave you the example of practicing self love, but it can be anything that you see that you need and meeting that need for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lori, like I've learned so much from there were so many lessons that I've learned through all of the downfalls and go gains from my childhood and teenage years and adulthood. It wasn't a waste. It's not a wasted experience. Yes, I can look back and say those were difficult experiences. And I've had to do so much unlearning because of those experiences and being able to see how much that didn't serve me. But through those lessons, I've really learned how to be more confident in myself, how to accept myself, believe in myself. It taught me a lot of resilience and even like the ability to adapt into any situation. Like I'm sharing this because yes, we look back at our childhood and there's a lot of tough times, but there's so much wisdom and beauty that we can get from that when we take the time to really become aware of where we're losing ourselves, how our egos are getting a hidden gain from that, and accept our experiences so that we can become whole. Not become whole, we already are whole, but see and experience our inner wholeness.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's beauty. There's beauty in those hardships that we experienced
yeah.
in our childhood.
Definitely. And for me, the gain on a very healthy note is I am very resilient and I really do have the great ability to adapt and being really accountable and responsible. So those are wonderful things to, walk away with
Yes.
from being strong. And I hold those near and dear. And I am grateful, so grateful that I have that ability. It makes my journey here just a little less.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, and to be aware of that and be grateful for that because that has come, that definitely was the byproduct, some of the pieces that I did receive from having to be the strong one in certain areas. So yes, I'll take that.
Yeah. And like being able to work through that and really see our inner wholeness, it's like it makes us even stronger, but in the healthier way. Cause now we have all of these things that we've learned from our past that we're like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. But, and on top of the blessings that we got, like you said, we're responsible, accountable, resilient, and like, the way I envision it in my head, it's like we're putting all of these pieces together and really just more fully embodying who we are. It's so empowering.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. Creating a great balance.
Yes.
So yeah, all right. Well, Shanice, to wrap up this episode, boy, we talked about a lot. We talked about what it means to be the strong one, as well as what the hidden downfalls are and the egoic gains are, which both serve the ego, which is what we discovered along the way. That was a little thing we did not know always.
Yeah.
We also touched on how to find balance and how doing so will serve our spirit.
Yes. And if you'd like to learn more about us or check out our products and services, you can click the link in the description. Today's quote is by Jennifer Crocker and Connie Wolf, and it's titled The Contingency of Self Worth. When you when your value depends on outcomes like achievement, it creates a fragile sense of self. If competence is your currency, failure isn't just disappointing. It feels like proof that you're not enough. And I can say, looking back at my childhood, that's exactly what it was. Like the stakes were so high that failure wasn't just disappointing. It was like it meant I wasn't enough. I love that we ended with that quote because it's and that's it for this episode. If this episode spoke to you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. And thank you guys so much for listening to Branching In with Shanice.
And Lori, join us for our next episode. We post Fridays at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. See you then.